Let's get to breaking news happening right here in Chicago. We are getting reports of a woman stabbed in the 600 block of North Dearborn. That's the River North neighborhood. Dane Placco is live there with the latest. Dane, what have you heard?
Yes, Sally, this happened around 11 o'clock this morning here at the corner of Ohio and Dearborn. An apparently random knife attack on a woman inside that Chase Bank that you see there right across the street from us.
Wow. Random knife attack. And this is I wouldn't call this a Sun community. This is not the Sun Belt. This is not the Stand in Chicago. I mean, this is what's happened in every city. The crime is branched out. It's no longer confined to the hood. Everywhere's the hood now. I wonder if they'll give us a description on the perp.
Now, there had been reports just before that attack of a mentally disturbed man yelling at people and brandishing a knife here in the River North neighborhood. We talked to a witness who saw that man go into the Chase Bank, then come out a short time later screaming at pedestrians. While he was inside the bank, he apparently stabbed a woman waiting in line for a teller. And looking through that bank window now, we can see blood on the floor about 5 feet from one of the teller windows. The woman was taken out by stretcher, put in an ambulance, and is presumably now at Northwestern Memorial Hospital, just a few blocks from here. And people we're talking to are stunned by this daylight attack. I talked to that witness, as I mentioned before, who describes what he saw.
This guy kind of came across. He's wearing like a t-shirt, maybe like a gray thing wrapped around his head, like a mask. And he walked into the bank.
Any other pieces of description that you can give us, brother? Anything else? I mean, just, curious, man. Just to give the story color. No pun intended. But just the, for posterity's sake, man.
This guy kind of came across. He's wearing like a t-shirt, maybe like a gray thing wrapped around his head, like a mask. And he walked into the bank, and he was like on a mission. And we kind of like watched him, but like I ended up crossing the bank, crossing to go to the post office. And then maybe a minute or two later, he came out and he was walking down Dearborn, kind of like screaming at people, and then like turned the corner. And then next thing I know, like while I was in line at the post office, I just hear all the cops and fire trucks and everything.
Now, what I try to do is, on this channel, from time to time, is, give you guys some pointers on how to decode the mainstream media. Because, these local news stations do a great job, but even they have to leave certain things out. So, one thing that I gleaned from this guy's commentary and all of the commentary up to this point in this segment is that the victim is not a sister. Okay? And the suspect is not a glacier glider. If the victim was a sister and the suspect was a glacier glider, that we would have already known that. They would have already told us that a white man attacked a black woman in the Chase Bank. Okay? We would have already known that. Now, of course, logically you say, well, I mean, Sun men attack Sun women all the time, and you don't, hear, any special, nothing special on the news, local news channels about that. Any special, commentary or emphasis put on that. And I'm just going by her being a glacier glider by the part of town and being in a bank in that part of town. Now, it could be a sister, but I just think that it was it was Sun Man on Glacier Glider, woman violence.
Chicago detectives and police still on the scene here at the Chase Bank, which remains closed at this time, about an hour after the attack. It's unclear whether that individual, that suspect, is in custody. Sally, I should tell you, just randomly, Ed Flynn, my photographer, and I were just a couple blocks from here, right around the time this happened, shooting a story. We'd just done an interview with the man who was beaten in River North on Saturday morning, early Saturday morning, preparing a story about violence in the River North neighborhood and what police and political leaders are going to try to do to prevent it. And as we had just finished the interview with that gentleman, we heard about the stabbing here a couple blocks away. Ed Flynn, my photographer, believes he saw the suspect. It matches the description we were given by that gentleman we played the soundbite from. That man walked right past our cars on State Street heading...
No way you could tell me you saw the suspect. He must have given you a description off the record, because he didn't give us nothing descriptive. A t-shirt and something wrapped around his head. Okay. So, by that logic, if we see a Eskimo midget walking down the street with a white t-shirt and gray thing wrapped around his head like a mask, we should be able to call police and be like, we got the guy here. I'm looking right at him. Put him in a sack and take him to the police station, right?
We heard about the stabbing here a couple blocks away. Ed Flynn, my photographer, believes he saw the suspect. It matches the description we were given by that gentleman we played the soundbite from. That man walked right past our cars on State Street heading south towards the river. Again, we don't know whether the police have him in custody yet, but it's clearly has issues and has a knife, and they're very concerned. Live in River North, Dane Placco, Fox 32 News. Back to you.
All right, Dane, we know you and Ed are going to stay on top of this and keep us updated. Thank you.
All right, Tim, thank you very much. A shocking attack in River North. 2 men beaten, and the punches were all caught on camera.
People now wondering about their safety in one of Chicago's most popular areas.
Brittany Garzilla is live with the story and more on what happened here. Brittany?
Yeah, Anthony and Don, I can tell you that we've seen several police officers patrolling this area on bikes on State Street here near Hubbard. That's where the attack happened. Employees at businesses nearby say problems in this area have become increasingly worse. They're losing business and feel that more needs to be done.
And they can't tell you who's doing it. Think about the privilege of that. They can't tell you who's doing this. They could tell you who didn't wear a mask, which NFL player got caught at the club, in a selfie at the club without wearing a mask. Barack Obama caught flack a few weeks ago for inviting a bunch of people to his birthday party, and it was over the regulations of people that you can have in one place, and they're not going to be mad. You can get blasted for that. You can get shouted out for that. Spotlight on you. But this stuff, they can't tell you who's doing it. Can't make any correlation. Can't connect any dots. Things that make you go, Who remember that from Arcadia? Things that make you go, You just, you're never going to fix it, man.
Everybody started hitting them, both of them. Both of them got, brutal. They got beat up so badly.
William Salgado was working and saw the attack happen.
I went and asked the mayor to do something about this.
There was some sort of altercation where 3 males were beating up another male, and then a separate male walked by and he was assaulted as well, and then some items were taken.
Ross Garvey manages a business nearby and says within the past 6 months, issues in the neighborhood have become noticeably worse.
Before the pandemic, we would open until 11. If it was busy, we'd be open a little bit later.
But now, because things get so bad here at night, we close at 10 on a Friday and a Saturday.
And you know he ain't gonna say nothing about the problem. He probably online right now arguing with somebody talking about some Biden wasn't asleep. He was just intensely concentrating on what the Israeli prime minister was saying. Haven't you ever been intently concentrating on this guy? He definitely ain't gonna say what's really going on. He just gonna lose money and eventually have to move out.
Close at 10 on a Friday and a Saturday.
So far, police say no one is in custody.
And hopefully we can get these suspects identified as quickly as possible.
Now, one man was taken to the hospital, and some nearby residents may be voicing their concerns tomorrow at 6 o'clock. The second ward alderman will host a public safety forum via Zoom to discuss some safety concerns in the nearby Gold Coast neighborhood. Reporting live in River North, Brittany Garzillo, Fox 32, Chicago.
Video from the city's pod security camera shows the scene on State Street about 1:30 in the morning. It is crowded with people when a fight breaks out and two men are attacked, while some in the crowd take video on their phones. We're freezing the video just before the victims are punched. There is no rush to stop the attack, residents and business owners say. Unfortunately, incidents like this are becoming all too common on the near north side.
I think the video is brutal. What we're experiencing today is a complete breakdown of a civilized society, and these issues should be addressed by public officials.
Wow, that's scathing. A complete breakdown of civilized society. Should have picked your own cotton, man. This is what laziness gets you. This is why you see so many YouTubers out here working hard, man, putting out the content. YouTubers are among the hardest working people out there, man. Because we know laziness leads to other things. If these glacier gliders would have picked their own cotton, they wouldn't have these problems, man. Now you're having a breakdown of civilized society.
The owner of the 7-Eleven store on the corner shows video of the late-night crowds inside her store. She says employees have quit out of fear for their safety.
Employees have quit over fears for their safety. Just think about that, man. Think about that. Stealing, if you catch them stealing, now they want to fight you, and you a snitch and you a rat, and they gonna catch you when you leave. They come in, get free drinks like we used to do. Come in, drink and just leave, or drink and then leave with the cup. Go down the aisle looking around.
Resident Gary Colasar says he tries to stay away from this intersection in particular.
This is the only area that I'm aware of in Streeterville that I don't feel comfortable.
It's also the only area in Streeterville where you can find you-know-who's.
Sudler Property Management oversees nearly 40,000 residential units in the area.
I've heard from many residents. They are concerned. Several have told me that they're afraid to go out at night.
The spike in crime led 42nd Ward Alderman Brendan Riley to write a strongly worded letter to Mayor Lightfoot. I'm writing to express my extreme frustration and concerns with the lack of overnight police resources downtown and the dramatic spike in violent crime in our tourism and hospitality district at night. Cook County Sheriff's Department officers will now be more visible, helping Chicago police.
If we see something that we can help out in, we will. Hopefully we're deterring crime while we're there.
So that's smart. You know, a lot of these cities defunded their police, marginalized their police, causing a lot of officers to retire early, quit. Hard to get recruits. So there's a shortage. This is a very clever, very resourceful way. Just bring in the county and let them have jurisdiction in the city. Man, this defund thing is dead, Jack. Defund is dead. It's literally like we're living in two universes. One universe where every day they talk about the Capitol riots on mainstream TV, and another universe where you guys come here and you see that, like, there's more violence in every 5 to 10 minute span of life on every street in every city in Blackistan than there was at the Capitol riots. Again, there's more violence in any given 5 to 10 minute span in every single city, street in every single city in Blackistan. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
If we see something that we can help out in, we will. Hopefully we're deterring crime while we're there.
Aside from the incident at this intersection over the weekend, there are also reports of at least 6 armed robberies in the River North and Streeterville neighborhoods this weekend. There are no reports, however, of any serious injuries.